Good morning, boys and girls. We are on page 112, lesson 24. Homework, please make sure that you are on the correct page. So right here it says Jesse takes his dog and cat for their annual vet visit. The word annual means yearly. Jesse's dog weighs 23 pounds. This is an important information, so I'm going to circle that. The vet tells him his cat weight is 5/8 as much as his dog's weight. How much does his cat weigh? So to figure that out, what I'm going to do is I am going to demonstrate how much the dog weighs. So right here, this is Jesse's dog, and it says here that the dog weighs 23 pounds. So this is where I'm getting the number 23 from, 23 pounds. And they also mention in the information that his cat weighs 5/8. So here is the cat, and that is going to be 5/8 of 23. So I'll put right here 5/8 times 23. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply to find out how much his cat weighs. 5 times 23 is equal to 115. 8 times 1 is equal to 8. So what I did here was I multiplied across. So 5 times 23 gave me 115. And 8 times 1 is equal to 8. So 8 is my divisor, and 115 is my dividend. 8 can go into 11 one time. 11 minus 8 is equal to 3. Carry down your 5. 8 can go into 35 4 times. I'm writing down 8 times 4 is 32. 5 minus 2 is 3. 3 minus 3 is 0. So my remainder is 3, and my denominator is equal to 8. So my final answer is, let me zoom out a little bit, 14 and 3/8 pounds. That's how much his cat weighs. So his cat weighs 14 and 3/8 pounds. For the next part, it says here, an image of a snowflake is 1.8 centimeters wide. If the actual snowflake is 1/8 the size of the image, what is the width of the actual snowflake? Express your answer as a decimal. So I know that I have 1/8 of 1/8 of 1.8 centimeters. So I drew a tape diagram of 1.8 centimeters, and this number is directly from here. And I'm going to be multiplying 1/8 of 18 tenths. So I wrote that down, 18 tenths. The 8 is in the tenths place. That's why I'm calling it 18 tenths. So now I'm going to multiply. 1 times 18 is equal to 18. And 8 times 10 is equal to 80. I'm going to simplify by dividing the top and the bottom number, the numerator and the denominator by 2. 18 divided by 2 gives me 9, and 80 divided by 2 gives me 40. So my answer is 9/40. And if I were to write this as a decimal, I would get 225 thousandths. Now you're wondering, Ms. Tran, how do I divide 9 divided by 40 to get 225 thousandths? So this one is a little different from the previous problem. Your 8 in this problem, your divisor was 8, and that was the denominator. So same thing, the denominator is also going to be 80 over here. However, your dividend is going to be 18. So we know that 80 can't go into 18, and try to remember from Module 1. In Module 1, we explained how to divide decimals. So we would add a decimal and a 0 and continue to divide. So 80 can go into 180 2 times. 8 times 2 is 16. Add my 0, I get 160. 8 minus 6 is equal to 2. 0 minus 0 is 0. And then I would add a 0 and also bring that down. And again, 80 can go into 200 2 times. So we get 160 again. We subtract. And we are going to get 0 minus 0 is 0. We're going to regroup. 10 minus 6 is 4. 1 minus 1 is 0. And I'm going to add another 0 and bring it down. We get 400. And 8 times 5 is equal to 40. Add my 0 and I get 400. So the last thing I need to do is bring up my decimal and I get 225 thousandths as my final answer. Okay. Now I'm going to turn the page. The next page I have here is page 113, lesson 24. Please make sure you're turning to the correct page. It says a community bike ride offers a 5.7-mile ride for children and families. The short ride is followed by a long ride of 5 2/3 times as long as the short ride for adults. If a woman bikes the short ride, so the short ride right here is 5.7. So a woman rides the short ride, color coding, with her children, and then the long ride with her friends. How many miles does she ride altogether? So that would mean I am adding both of these eventually together. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply 5 2/3. Where did I get that? Right in the problem right here, 5 2/3. And I'm multiplying it times 5.7. Because what I'm trying to figure out is how many miles is she riding altogether, but first I need to figure out how long is the long ride, okay? So I'm multiplying 5 2/3 times 5 7/10. First thing I need to do is I need to multiply and change my mixed number into an improper fraction. So 3 times 5 is 15, 15 plus 2 is 17, my numerator is 17 and my denominator is 3. Notice that this 3 and this 3 are the same. They stay the same. Now I'm going to do the other side, 5 7/10. 5 times 10 is equal to 50. 50 plus 7 is 57. So multiply and then add, multiply and then add. 57 tenths. Now I'm going to multiply 17 times 57. And when I multiply 17 times 57, I get 323. And then I'm going to multiply 3 times 10, which is equal to 10. When I divide 323 divided by 10, what I'm going to get is 32 3/10. Okay, so that's what I wrote right here. With that 32 3/10 mile, I'm going to add 5.7 miles to figure out how many miles she rides all together. So 7 plus 3 is 10, carry the 1, bring down the 0. Don't forget to bring down your decimal. When you're adding or subtracting, you just bring it right down. 2 plus 5 is 7, plus 1 is 8. And bring down your 3, you get 38 as 38 miles altogether that she rode with her friends and her children. Now, for problem number 4, it says Sal bought a house for $78,524.60. So this I'm going to highlight because it seems like an important number. 12 years later, he sold the house for 2 3/4 times as much. So he sold it for a higher amount, is what they're saying. What was the sale price of the house? So we have 3/4, 2 3/4, and if we were to write that as a decimal, we would multiply. So I'm going to show you here. 2 3/4. I would multiply times 25 over 25 to get 2 75 hundredths. So 75 hundredths. So I wrote 2 75 hundredths. So that's where that decimal comes from. Now, what I'm going to do is I need to multiply 2 75 hundredths times 78,524. So I need to multiply these numbers together in order to solve this problem. 5 times 0 is 0, 5 times 6 is 30, 5 times 4 is 20, plus 3 is 23. Oh, I forgot to draw a line right here. That is very messy. 5 times 2 is 10. Wait. Even I'm confusing myself. 5 times 0 is 0. 5 times 6 is 30. 5 times 4 is 20. I'm going to do this again because I'm confusing myself. 5 times 0 is 0, 5 times 6 is 30, 5 times 4 is 20, plus 3 is 23, 5 times 2 is 10, plus 2 is 12, 5 times 5 is 25, plus 1 is 26, 5 times 8 is 40, plus 2 is 42, 5 times 7 is 35, plus 4 is 39. I'm going to move this out of the way. Bring down my 0, multiplying now in my tens place. 7 times 0 is 0. 7 times 6 is 42. 7 times 4 is 28. 28 plus 4 is 32. 7 times 2 is 14. Plus 3 is 17. 7 times 5 is 35. Plus 1 is 36. 7 times 8 is 56. Plus 3 is 59. 7 times 7 is 49. 49 plus 5 is 54. Now I'm going to multiply my hundreds place, so that means that I'm going to draw 2 zeros to multiply my hundreds place. I want to erase this so it's not all over the place. And now I'm multiplying. 2 times 0 is 0. 2 times 6 is 12. 2 times 4 is 8, plus 1 is 9. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 5 is 10. 2 times 8 is 16, plus 1 is 17. 2 times 7 is 14, plus 1 is 15. And I'm going to add everything together. I have 0, 0, 5, 2, 3, 4, 6. 9 plus 7 is 16. 16 plus 6. 16 plus 6 is 22. 6 plus 4 is 10. Plus 2 is 12. Plus 2 is 14. Oops, almost put in the wrong space. 9 plus 9 is 18. Plus 1 is 19. Now this is where I would draw more lines to make sure that I'm adding everything together. 7 plus 4 is 11. 11 plus 3 is 14. Is this included? Yeah. And 14 plus 1 is 15. 5 plus 5 is 10. Plus 1 is 11. And 1 plus 1 is 2. Now, look here. I need to move my decimal over 4 places. So this one is 2. This one's 2. So I'm going to move over 1, 2, 3, 4. That's where your decimal would go. So that means that your final number is going to be 215,942. So that was the sale price of the house. Whoa, this whole time you cannot see it. Let me move it up for you. Okay, so that is the amount that it was sold for 12 years later. So what that means is that price increased. It really, really got a lot larger. Okay, I'm going to turn the page, and we are on page 114. On page 114, it says here in 5th grade, at Lenape Elementary School, there are 4/5 as many students who do not wear glasses as those who do wear glasses. If there are 60 students who wear glasses, how many students are in 5th grade? So these are the students who do not wear glasses. And the number 12 comes from dividing 60. So I know that 5 units is equal to 60, so if what I need to figure out what 1 unit is equal to. So I would divide 60 divided by 5 to get 12. So this number 12 is the number that you're seeing in here, in all these little boxes. That's where it comes from. So to figure out how many students wear glasses, I would multiply and figure out 9 units. So I would multiply 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Notice that there are 9. Let me show you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So there are 9 units. So I'm going to multiply 12 times 9, which is 108, and that tells me how many 5th grade students there are. Okay, so this one, there was 60 students, and then if I were to add the 48 students, I would also end up getting 108. Or you can multiply and also get 108. So there are 108 5th grade students in all. For problem 6, it says here, at a factory, a mechanic earns $17.25 an hour. Here's the mechanic. The president of the company earns 6 2/3 times as much for each hour he works. So the manager or the president earns a lot more money. That's what they're saying. Now, the janitor of the same company earns 3/5 as much as the mechanic. So he only earns 3/5 of the amount that the mechanic earns, and this is where 3/5 comes from. Now what I'm going to do is it asks me how much does the company pay for all 3 employees' wages for 1 hour work. So we're only looking for 1 hour. So this is the president, this is the janitor. For the president, we see here that we're going to multiply 6 2/3, which is the number I got here, times 17 1/4. I changed 17 20 hundredths into 1/4. I simplified by dividing 25 over 25. Let me show you. 17 20 hundredths, and I divided the top and bottom number by 25, which ends up giving me 17 1/4. That's where that number comes from. Now, I'm going to multiply. So I have 3 times 6 is 18, plus 2 is 20, 20/3, and 4 times 17 is going to give me 68, plus 1 is 69/4. Multiply 20 times 69 and you get 1,380. 3 times 4 is equal to 12. Divide that and you get 115 for how much the president earns in 1 hour. So he earns $115 per hour. The janitor on the other side earns 3/5 of 17.25. So we're multiplying 3/5 times 17 1/4. They changed again 17 20 hundredths into 17 1/4. They simplified it to make it into a mixed number. Now I'm going to change it into an improper fraction by multiplying 4 times 17, which is 68, plus 1 is 69, 69/4. 3 times 69 is equal to 207. 207 divided by 5 times 4, which is equal to 20, is equal to $10.35. So the total in all, if I were to add everything together, $17.25 plus $115 plus $10.35, I would get $142.06. That's how much they paid for each person altogether. So the mechanic was $17 and $25. The president, as you see here, is $115, and the janitor is $10. Oh, I used purple earlier. Is $10.35. And all together is the final price of $142.06. Okay, and that is all you have for today. Please let me know if you have any questions in class. Did you guys see that? All of that? Okay.